Yes, this is real, but it's not what you're thinking, and I'm gonna explain everything in this video about how we ended up in this situation. Welcome back everybody, I'm the Clueless Traveler, and in this episode we're gonna continue exploring Kurdistan, Iraq. So today we're gonna have a look at the citadel.
Yeah,
What do you think of it?
it's huge.
It's
It's unbelievable.
it's
Huge.
immensely big and it's on a hill and it's just surrounded by walls. And it's apparently 6,000 years old. So we're gonna have a stroll around and see what there's to see. The Erbil citadel is approximately 30 meters high and is considered one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in the world, because it has been inhabited since the 5th century BC. A big restoration process has been started in 2007, but this meant that all the inhabitants had to leave apart from one family to continue the record of longest inhabitation. It was divided in 3 districts, one for noblemen, one for religious clergymen, and one for craftsmen and farmers. And as you walk around, you would see multiple signs of the organizations involved in this restoration process. Among them are UNESCO and the EU, for example. Well, as you can see, they are still constructing everything and they're renovating everything, so that's good. With funding from UNESCO and European Union. At first glance, a textile museum doesn't sound all that interesting, but actually it's quite well done and really worth a visit. Here you can find various types of textiles, as in rugs or carpets, but also clothes or hats. And each design and pattern represents various tribes and clans. And they also show and explain the long production process, which can be very tedious sometimes. And they would also explain how they got their colors. So they would use various plants or herbs or fruits and vegetables or just clay or stones or anything like that to make these kinds of colors. Definitely recommend coming here, because if you're visiting the citadel, you're automatically going to bump into the museum. And if it's just for supporting the local economy, it's not that expensive. I don't remember the price, but it can't be that much. And in the end, it's very beautiful, as you can see. Here we can see some traditional clothes, for example, and you will be surprised how much of this you would still see in the day-to-day life in Kurdistan. Especially the men have a very distinct look and outfit, which is very different from their Arab counterparts in the rest of Iraq. This little museum was built to preserve the Turkmen history, which is the 3rd largest ethnic group in Iraq. Here you can find typical Turkmen artifacts and interior design. And just across from there we got the Gems and Stones Museum, which is a private collection from a geology graduate called Sarbest Majid. He displays his 40 years of collecting gemstones from around the world in this renovated 2-story building within a citadel. And it's the only one of its kind in the entirety of Iraq. His extensive collection consists of beautiful gemstones, fossils, and even meteorites. And if you want to take any of that home, you can actually buy them as souvenirs in jewelry, as in necklaces, rings, or earrings, fossils, anything. So all in all, the citadel of Erbil has a lot to offer because all these previous museums are in walking distance of each other. Right, now it's time to get back to the intro and how we got surrounded by ISIS trucks and ISIS flags. So as we were exploring the citadel and the museums, we had to walk past this section a couple of times and there was nothing there. But after leaving the Gems and Stones Museum, we started seeing ISIS flags. And for a second, our hearts dropped and we were like, what the hell happened? For a hot second, my brain was going in overdrive trying to explain what I'm seeing and what was going on. Also because if ISIS would be there, you would expect screaming, yelling, shouting, gunfire, etc. and none of that was there. But then we saw the cameras, all the extras, all the people and other tourists and we were like, oh, it's a movie, okay. But can you imagine our faces for that 1 second when we saw those flags? Yeah. Considering that this was in 2021, it was still pretty recent to the fall of ISIS. Don't know what the movie was about, but probably the occupation time during ISIS. I wouldn't be surprised if those artifacts like the flags and maybe the trucks are actually real. Important to remember is that ISIS never entered Erbil, and the Kurds were the only one that could stop ISIS in all those years. And here we are again, back inside Citadel, and all the film crew is gone, like nothing ever happened. So, what do you think of the market?
Very quiet, and it's very interesting, and it's universal. It's for everything. You can get anything here.
Yeah. They have all options.
Yeah, that's right.
Now it's still very quiet, but it will probably later will be busier.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, I have to buy a car.
Ah, yeah. Right, you can take an original one.
I haven't got enough money.
Yeah.
So this company only uses notes. They haven't got any coins.
They don't use coins because it's pointless.
Yeah, it's coinless.
Well, yeah, pointless, coinless. So as I said before, Erbil has been inhabited since the 5th century BC. Being part of ancient Mesopotamia, it was part of many different kingdoms, like the Assyrians, Sumerians, Macedonians, Romans, Armenians, Ottomans, and finally being part of Iraq. The city became Christian between the 1st and 4th century AD. The local royal family is known in Jewish history for converting to Judaism. But they didn't fully replace the ancient Mesopotamian religions. They actually stayed up until the 10th century, until they slowly died out. The city actually produced many prominent Aramaic authors, Aramaic being the language of Jesus. But eventually Islam came thanks to the Persian conquests in the 7th century. Roughly 7 centuries later, the Mongols finally arrived, and after a 6-month-long siege, they finally captured the citadel. During the Mongol reign, many ethnicities were persecuted, like the Christians, the Jews, or even the Buddhists. The rest of the Middle Ages were a confusing time, changing rulers frequently, from Mongols to Turkic tribes and Islamic caliphates. Eventually, it became part of the Soran Emirate for roughly 300 years until the Ottomans conquered it. Until the First World War, when the Ottomans lost from the British and they took it over as a British mandate/protectorate. So, was this a good surprise or not? This trip?
This trip is really tremendous surprise. I thought I'd be trying to speak foreign language, but you're better than that, are you? I'll leave that up to you.
But you like the destination?
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Yeah, it's pretty hard. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real, disappointment when you get that.
Disappointment?
Yeah, because it's going to be rainy and it's
yeah. It's gonna be winter.
Well, sort of, yeah. We're starting work straight away.
Yeah. So it's really something different.
شو امشي
After a while we made our way towards a different part of the city for some dinner. It was quite a nice restaurant. It looked a little bit like a park with some ponds and everything. It was quite nice. After that we had another stroll in another park with some fountains and some lights, as you can see. Not easy to capture with an old GoPro, so quality's not that great, but I hope you can understand the idea. They even made a little grotto over there with some waterfalls and some lights and everything, so it's quite well done for such a city. But maybe some more light will be nice, so you can also enjoy it at night. In this park you can also find a 36-meter high minaret, which was built in the late 12th century and unfortunately destroyed by a lightning strike. Zoals was. You trust the Iraqi cable card?
Well, if they do, they trust it, then I'll certainly try it. Plenty of ventilation.
Yeah. The security system is a bit different here. From the previous park, we could automatically walk towards this amusement park, which includes these cable cars. Quite a nice experience, a bit hard to capture at dark with an old GoPro again. But yeah, would you trust an Iraqi cable cart? actually quite a big park with a lot of attractions, a lot of play areas for the kids, facilities, and you can also buy some food and drinks, for example. So yeah, definitely worth a try.
After this post, we're going down.
Down in a normal way, hopefully.
That was the last post.
Yeah.
No fun. We're free for
So right now we're in the cable cars. And what do you think of the cable cars?
very, very interesting. It's a nice, uninterrupted ride for about, I think, about 15 minutes. The ones that are open are empty.
Ja, denk het, ja. So of course, before coming to Iraq, our main perspective came from the media, of course, showcasing the last 20 years, growing up with news about Iraq and everything that's going on over there, and it was never really positive. But then coming there, seeing people trying to live their lives, enjoying amusement parks, going for picnics, just having tea and coffee, getting all the time invited to join them was really eye-opening, and that's also why I went there, because I knew it wasn't negative as the media would portray it. And that's my message to you. Do your own research, explore other cultures, meet other people, and your eyes will open. That was it for now. Hope to see you next time, and thank you for watching.